Get me some sunglasses. Make sure they black.
Okay, deal.
Did you hear me? I can fight. Ugh, I can do it.
Enough, Hudson. You know you're banned from the mall, and you know why.
Rest in peace, Lionel.
All right, come on, Vivs. We need your claws in case mall humans try to kill us. Plus, you need H2O just like the rest of us.
Sorry, Darby, but I got all the H2O I need right here. Plus, H2X, Yellow 666, and something called Crackazine?
Crackazine!
Dear God, what in the...
Damn, girl.
I'll go. I need more dynamite.
I am KB. Thank you guys for chatting with The Beat about Wildlife, which is a crazy, crazy new animated show that is coming to SyFy. I loved every moment because it was wildly insane and not what I expected it to be. So tell me a little bit about how the three of you came to collaborate on this project and about how long has it taken for it to come to fruition?
Yeah, so I had started drawing cheetah way back in the day, like weird, lumpy, just spots, lots of like Rorschaching animated spots. And then slowly other characters appeared, like Darby the koala. And then it was like, oh, this is in a zoo. That's the only time that these animals will connect with each other. And then the backdrop of the apocalypse just like faded in. And around that time, I got in touch with Alex through a friend of a friend. And he is a creative matchmaker. And we started to lightly talk about it. And then, you know, slowly it snowballed and Dylan hopped on board. And yeah, we just, that, you know, then we just went to the races.
Maybe it's to the races, maybe it's to the moon.
Yeah.
Knows, but it is such a fun and wild show. So my next question really is, which character would you consider yourself from the show? Because I personally love the koala. You know, he's wild, he's crazy, and he's always getting high off that toad. So tell me which one most kind of resembles you personally in terms of personality, maybe I'll say.
I'm very clearly Glenn, the cheetah, to the point where like he has this journal in several episodes that they just modeled straight up off of my journal. You'll notice in later episodes. And there's whole plot lines that are inspired by personal anxieties and situations and experiences that I have dealt with. So yeah, Glenn is very much the character I respond to the most. But I like to say I'm like Glenn with like a rising Hudson. So I'm a Glenn sign. Yeah.
What about you, Adam?
I think in reality, Glenn I relate to initially, but then truthfully, I'm probably more of a Hudson, like chaos factor, weird, annoying. And then also like Marnie at heart too. Yeah, sort of like a weird alienated disconnectedness.
But also she's like a Lisa Simpson. You have that Lisa Simpson in you too, for sure.
Actually, now that you mentioned it, Marnie does seem a lot like Lisa Simpson.
She's got her pure spirit.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? What character are you?
I definitely think I feel like we all have a foundation of Glenn, but no one is quite as full and solid as Dylan. But I think I have to cop till being, I have a lot of Viv, like obsessiveness and competitiveness, but also a lot of Debbie in that I like things my way and I like to be comfortable. And it's funny, I'm realizing this also lines up. So we, before we get to record with all these people like John Reynolds and Reggie Watts and all these amazing people, we do scratch vocals ourselves for the episodes, and Dylan does Glenn, Adam does Hudson, and I do Debbie. And so maybe that's also like bridged a bond over there.
Viv. You also do Viv.
Oh yeah, I guess I do Viv too. You also do Darby. Yeah. Anyway,
it lines lines up.
It lines up.
It feels like by default, you guys have taken on the personalities of these characters. Since you guys have done the scratch vocals, they've become kind of a part of you, I see.
The lines are blurred at this point, for sure.
Oh my goodness. So tell me more. I've only seen the pilot, which again, I thought it was fantastic because it was just unlike anything I've ever seen. And also, I have no idea where this show is going. So give us a little bit more about kind of what we can expect for the rest of season 1.
I think one thing that's really awesome about the show is that it's sort of an infinite world and a world where kind of anything can happen. I kind of hope that came across in the pilot. Like, not only do we have the zoo that we're kind of ambiguous about how big it is and how many creatures are in it, so we can kind of do anything inside of that. So there are plenty of episodes where these creatures, they never leave the zoo, they just interact with other creatures within it. But then we have whole other episodes where they leave the zoo entirely and go to completely new worlds and meet completely new characters outside of it. And so we have everything from robot doppelgangers to strange bears who are obsessed with tennis that they meet. We have book clubs that become nightclubs. It's sort of like anything and everything is kind of on the table. And yeah, so all of that sounds insane when you say it like a sentence. I promise it makes sense when you see the episodes.
Yeah, just like we all like, and there's a lot of like surprise guests that come along the way too. So like the bear, the aforementioned tennis loving bear, is voiced by Tim Heidecker, and Marnie finally meets another dolphin that was voiced by Rhys Darby from What We Do in the Shadows, the film, and all that, and Flight of the Conchords, and just so it's just there's a lot of like surprise guests that I guess aren't surprises anymore, and but a lot of hearts. There's just like, we really try to keep it as much gore and madness and chaos as there is. It really, we do try to keep it like a really heartfelt show throughout the whole season.
Yeah, the task with the pilot felt like we had to both introduce all the characters, but then introduce the broad world. So in the pilot, a lot more happens. We have a lot of episodes where it's much more just like them hanging out. And in general, it's more of a show about animals than it is about anything else. It's from their perspective. It's not about humans. And yeah, so the pilot's a slightly different vibe than the other episodes, but the chaos is also spread throughout.
I feel like I'm most intrigued by, this book club that becomes a nightclub scenario, because that feels like it's going to be the wave of the future post-COVID, where you just start off in a book club and then you end up at a nightclub somehow. So yes, thank you for that. I cannot wait to see that episode.
You could argue that a lot of this show about post-human society is the way of the future, and that maybe is predicting
and
more than we'd like.
Right. I was about to say we're kind of headed down that path. So that just brings me to my final question. Yeah. How is it kind of creating an apocalyptic show in the middle of what feels like the start of the apocalypse for us here in 2020? Because things just keep getting wilder for us, I feel like, every week. And now, honestly, like, I would not be surprised if the aliens kind of showed up at our doorstep in the next few weeks. Like, I feel like that's where we're headed this year.
Well, there is an asteroid headed our way. I don't know if you heard about that, but I would say it feels cathartic to sort of play in a post-human world and make one that is fun to be in. So for me personally, it's sort of letting out some of that anxiety. It's been really, because we made the whole show in quarantine. So the show got picked up to series at the beginning of quarantine. We just been making it pretty much remotely, entirely remotely. So it's been like a really nice sort of outlet to put those anxieties in, I would say.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely like a therapeutic process. The idea came up like kind of around 2016, and things definitely felt on fire then, but not as much now, and it
That is
honestly,
literally on fire as they are right.
literally. And I couldn't imagine life in quarantine without it. It feels like such a huge outlet and a way to even process what's happening outside. It's like, oh, we can play with these characters and figure out how to feel through them. So for me, it's been a blessing in disguise to be able to make it in quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to you guys because we all have had to kind of adjust and navigate and find things that really help us kind of manage and get through. And you guys have made a fantastic show in the middle of all of life's chaos. So just thank you so much. So lastly, kind of what do you hope that fans will take away from this show?
We strive to make a show, even the backdrop is chaos and there's gore and murder and blood and stuff, but at its core it's about compassion and friendship and just trying to like sort of like gallows humor, trying to find the moment within all of the chaos to just like breathe and have a laugh. And so hopefully it'll feel like a island for people to enjoy before they go back to being on fire.
Perfect. Well said. Well, thank you guys so much for taking time to chat with the Beat. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to the rest of the episodes and the rest of this season.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, KB. So glad you enjoyed it.
Yes. Wonderful to meet you guys.
Great
You
to
too.
meet you.
Talk to you soon.
Next
Okay.
time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.